You know, when this Baby Reindeer thing all kicked off, I thought, should I actually reach out to this woman, maybe interview her, see what her side of the story is? But then I thought, she's clearly mentally ill. Like, that is a horrendous idea. Just reading through all of those tweets that we did on the last episode, you know she's not in a good place to become famous. You know, don't put her out there like that, Brian. That would be wrong. But not everyone has sort of that sort of take on it. It's a credit to Piers in that sense. You know, he's previously interviewed serial killers, child killers, people who've killed their families, people who've killed their husbands, wives. So in many ways, it's not that big of a deal for him. And if there's anyone who can sort of relate to Martha/Fiona stalking someone who doesn't want them, constantly talking about them, bitching about them, hating on them, and not being able to just let go, it's Piers Morgan. Did the same shit with Meghan Markle. Don't get me wrong, you can hate Meghan Markle if you want, it's your call. But he's massively overdone it, especially after the way she dumped him for Prince Harry.
And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the studio.
First off, nailed her, didn't he? The lass who played Fiona absolutely is her. By the way, that woman deserves a fucking Emmy Award. She was unbelievable. You are a method actor. You're Marlon Brando, but with boobs.
It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic.
Misogynistic? How does Baby Reindeer paint a storyline or a narrative that hates all women? Because that's what misogyny means, by the way. Just people throw this word around a lot. Just because it targets one weird woman who can't stop stalking people does not mean it's misogynistic.
And I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him.
So the storylines are completely different already. She's saying I met him a few times. He's saying this woman stalked me for ages. So it's going to be very easy to find out who the liar is.
There's no doubt he has problems. I mean, if you watch given that he's written it about himself.
And that's the thing that gives weight to Richard Gard's story. When he says, I've made loads of mistakes, I'm full of problems, well then you're being more honest because you're willing to admit your own mistakes. So then I'm going to believe you more when you talk about other people. You see a lot of people who, they're always perfect in the argument and everyone else is in the wrong. That's when you know you're not to believe them, because people make mistakes.
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there and he said, oh, you're Scottish, and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment onwards.
I mean, let's be honest, right? No offense. People are, oh, is she lying? Look at her. Is anyone going to be obsessed with her? No. Come on. No one wants to say this, but let's fucking say it, right? She's not good looking. She's overweight. He's not that bad looking. It adds up, doesn't it? She's been known to stalk people before.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No, absolutely not. This is sort of a depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink.
The fact is, she's admitted she went into a bar, the Holy Arms, on her own, and started chatting to these random barmen. That's not a normal thing for a woman to do. I don't know women who do that.
But did you have a baby reindeer?
I had a toy reindeer.
I just love the fact that she can't even deny that.
As far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place.
Correct.
See, this is interesting because I feel like if he had done that and she had spotted him, she's the type of woman who was saying, you're obsessed with me. So she would have gone on and on and on about that if that had in fact happened. And that's where we see that Richard Gard has had a little bit of creative freedom with this true story and change things around a little bit to make it more interesting, which does add some weight to her side of the story, that he's not being completely truthful.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gard, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true.
41,000. If that was over a year, that'd be 100 emails a day. I know it was probably longer than that, who cares? But you get the point, like, that's insane. That doesn't actually feel possible even if she is a lunatic. And she's claiming she hasn't sent anything. You'd think a company like Netflix, though, if they were going to publish this and they're going to say this is a true story, they would have asked Richard Gard to show them some of this proof, to, like, verify this before we go and do this, because otherwise you're leaving yourself wide open.
I mean, you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're not that happy to have that done, are you, love?
Did you ever attack Richard Gard's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual, but no.
Did he attack his girlfriend? I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. Just a no would have been fine.
Did you ever contact Richard Gard's parents and threaten them?
No, that allegation was put to me by journalists. No.
Never happened?
No.
What was this little thing? At the end, it's like she wants to say something. What I did do...
Never happened?
No.
She's fucking scary, this one, you know.
Have you ever been charged with any criminal offence?
No.
Never.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Now, here's the fucking main issue here. If Richard Gard has lied about this key point in the story of her going to jail, it makes him look like a bullshitter. Big time. And it should be very easy for the internet detectives to find out if this woman's been to jail. Because if he's lied about that, then the whole fucking thing could be massively exaggerated. And fair enough, you want to jazz your TV show up, right? But like with Eminem, when he did 8 Mile, he was like, this is loosely based on my life. I'm changing a few little things here and there, but you get the idea of roughly how it was. But he didn't even do that. He said, this is a true story. So if key points are proven false, it ruins it. If she's not the big fat psycho we thought she was, it's not quite as fun. That's the problem. This is the first time in my life I've actually been disappointed that a woman wasn't a psycho. It's an odd feeling. But we don't know yet. She could still be a psycho.
So your maiden name when you were born was...
Yeah, that's right.
Was
Muir, yes.
Muir Harvey.
Yeah.
Which explains why in the news reports when she stalked the first woman, it was Fiona Muir, which is true. So we do know she is a fucking stalker to some degree. So this is the woman who she stalked originally, and she has done an interview. She said memories of the things that she did, some of her actions, it's pretty distressing. Watching her last night on Piers Morgan, how did I manage to cope with that for so long? My partner and I are concerned about what she might do next. Is she going to come after me? She's posting things on Facebook accusing me of all sorts and being abusive. You don't know where it will end.
He Googled up the article because I knew he'd done that. I never went back to the Holy Arms. He was spreading it around Camden that I was a stalker.
So what she's claiming is he has Googled what happened to her before where she was accused of stalking, totally fabricated a story about her then stalking him to then help write his play. It's a good story, right? One problem with that. Why the fuck was he Googling you in the first place? Because in the show, we see why. You're stalking him. He's panicking. Makes logical sense. Why would he be Googling you if you only met him 2 to 3 times? Why would you have sent him a handful of emails if you just met him in passing a couple of times, 2 to 3 times? Even her numbers don't add up to what's going on. This man didn't write an entire TV show about this woman because he found out she stalked someone else. There's truth in it. It's just how much.
So
You've never married?
No.
Have you had relationships?
Boyfriends, yeah.
With,
Oh, she's had boyfriends. Of course she has. Lots of them.
I mean, if you don't mind me being pure,
I'm heterosexual.
Yeah, but, okay, but like, you've been fucking or what?
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds.
He's David Brent, this girl, isn't she? She's David Brent. Whoa. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Why does that have to be sexual, right? Can we not? Give her a break, come on. Give her some space, lads. She's famous now.
Relationships were out of bounds. A lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
I mean, have you had many partners? Well, more than Richard Gadd. That's for sure. That's a very mature answer there. Very sensible. I like that. And that is where the nastiness of her character in the show is on point. You don't know someone to that level of detail when you're writing about them from meeting them 2 to 3 times. There's a reason why the actress did such a great job on her. Because he knew her in depth. And you can't do that by meeting someone 2 or 3 times unless they're highly perceptive like myself.
Now you're going public. Then the men that you've dated over the years will see this.
Yeah.
They'll be aware of it. They'll hear you.
I don't think if your next question is going to be, am I stalking them? I think the answer's going to be no.
We said dated. You brought in stalking. In case you didn't know, they're 2 different things. Stalking and dating, not the same. Aside from in your head, which was clearly shown during the show. Again, another...
Yeah.
How do you think they would view you?
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gadd.
Oh my God. She's never had a boyfriend in her fucking life, has she? Ever. You can tell by the way she's answered that. When someone goes, I think that, you know what that's doing? It's buying your brain time to think of bullshit. Again, instead of answering the question about these real people who exist, apparently, she makes up an answer that has nothing to do with these people. Now, if you're coming from a place of truth and someone asks you a question, what would your boyfriend say about this situation? You would answer as if you were that person. She doesn't do that because they don't exist. She's a lonely stalker. She is that person. It's clear.
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gadd, that he's completely off his head.
Bingo. Buying all the time she needs. I think that they might not exist.
And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he...
So you currently have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Big time lawyer. Yeah. It's the eye movements, right? Ricky Gervais, when he made David Brent that silly boss who was always bullshitting and embellishing and talking about, yeah. That's what people do. They lie and use those mannerisms. She does all those same things. She's just blissfully unaware of who she is.
In London?
Doesn't matter where he is.
This is so much like when Brent's at the office party and his sort of boss goes to him, "Are you bringing a girl to the Christmas party?" He's like, yeah, of course I am. What's she like? Don't worry about her. It's fine. And then he's banging to the internet dating because he knows he's got to get one. She's that woman. She's the female David Brent, but a psycho version.
I'd rather...
No, I understand, but how long have you been...
5 years.
So what does he think?
I don't want to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do, all of my professional friends.
She keeps banging about our lawyer friends. What the fuck are you talking about, love?
The voice messages he's kept, apparently, and there
He
is...
was maybe taping me in the holy arms. I don't know.
Oh, they're not really voice notes to me. He was taping me in the holy arms. I thought you only met him 3 times. How many hours of fucking tape could he have?
Or that you've left messages on his phone.
That's the other explanation, which just didn't happen.
You can't be sure.
This is really highly unethical. She's mentally ill, and Piers Morgan is a shithouse for doing this interview. But fuck me, it's entertaining. I can't lie.
If somebody could be taping me, somebody could have taped me in the holy arms. On a dictaphone or...
What, like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone 2 when he had the thing? Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
And I'm not trying to catch you out.
He very much is. He's absolutely trying to catch you out.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
You're immediately trying to put doubt in the story without denying the accusation. Do you still have the fucking email that you had back then? Simple as that. But the fact that she doesn't want to acknowledge that tells me she's hiding something.
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
It's different email accounts?
Maybe 4. I think it's 4 to 6, yeah.
Well, you would know, because they're yours. And the whole point in the show was she had different phones, different accounts to get to him. We can see she had multiple Twitter accounts with thousands upon thousands of tweets. We already can see that. The things we do know are lining up here.
I think it's 4 to 6, yeah. It's
it
easier.
4 or
it's
6?
easier, so you have some for...
Some for stalking. Doing a bit of stalking today. Just need this email address. Paying the bills on that one.
Yeah.
The 6 is a lot.
Is it?
Ooh. I've watched a little bit on body language and how people respond during interrogations. And when you're good really high, it's because you're under stress. And Piers Morgan asked her this question. 6 is a lot.
6 is a lot.
Is it?
She's stressed right now. I think he's got her here.
I don't know anybody with 6 email addresses.
You don't know many people then. I know...
Yeah, Piers Morgan. A bloke with his own chat show famously doesn't know many people. Hypothetically speaking, what I'd be really interested to know is if this show was written by a woman about a stalker man who did all the dark shit that this woman is alleged to have done to Richard Gadd. Would Piers Morgan be chatting to this man casually to get his side of the story? Would he fuck? And this is the level of privilege women are afforded that men don't get. If me auntie had bollocks, she'd be my uncle, right? I get it. But the way men and women are treated so differently when it comes to this level of crime is a disgrace. Men's lives get ruined as well, and it's not a problem.
I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac.
Well, that means you sound like one. I've met some crazy people in my time. That's crazy.
Do you think if somebody did send someone 41,000 emails, 350
I think that's
voice messages-
excessive.
Excessive. 1,000 emails is excessive. Unless you have like a long-term friendship, partnership, working relationship with someone over a space of 10 years or whatever. 41,000 is fucking nuts.
To you, would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it could be,
If someone did do that, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a stalker, does it? You're defending them? Well, yes and no, really. She's defending herself here. That's what she's doing.
41,000 is a lot. That's...
Ooh, a lot of blinking, yeah. And that's another little telltale of the body language or whatever. I mean, I'm not an expert, but apparently it's something to do with like erasing the memories and trying to like blink so that you kind of forget what you're talking about because it's the trauma, that sort of thing. She is blinking a lot out of nowhere here. Blink, 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 blink. Closed eyes. Another blink. Out of nowhere. She's not been blinking like that throughout the whole interview, but sometimes with this sort of thing, and I'm glad that they took their time with it because it takes time to break someone down. At the start, they're wired, and after a while, the cracks start to show.
That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends.
But, one person could think they're really great friends. The other person might never want to hear from them ever again. Could be that.
They could have been friends for 50 years or something.
Internet wasn't around 50 years ago, I'm afraid. That doesn't stack up.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Oh my God, that's the thing that's triggered her the most. That is the most expressive facial reaction she's given us so far. Were you in love with him? And she couldn't even just say no. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Good job, Piers. You nailed that psycho. Whatever happens from here on out, it's your fault as well, though. Sorry.
Yes.
Piers, it's a serious question.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
Fucking right it is. That's why you came on here.
No.
Oh my God. The eye blinking again, though. The eye blinking goes mental. Blink, 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 blink.
No.
It's not a
Blink,
question
blink,
of...
blink, blink, blink,
By
blink.
his own-
Yeah, she's just fucking freaking out right now. She can't handle how close to home this is. She absolutely loved this man. I'm fully confident of that.
He has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave
was...
him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked...
What was the relevance of the big green spot? I'm sort of lost on that. Would you have shagged him if it wasn't for the big green spot? Is that why we're...
He asked me to sleep with him.
She's not even believing herself now. He asked me to sleep with him. He really did.
I gave him the brush off
Big time.
big time, I think. You know,
Why?
subtly so, but the bottom
Very
line
subtle.
is,
There's one thing about her, she's very subtle.
I don't fancy little boys without jobs.
That is so petty. That is the most petty shit a woman has ever said. Next, she'll be insulting his penis size. Do you know what I mean? We're really at that level here.
That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but
And that's the nastiness within her that comes out from the character we see in Martha. You can meet people in life who come across quite sweet people, but they're quite deeply unhappy, and that unhappiness, for some people, can come out in real anger and aggression. And with her, it's clear as day it's there. The way she insults him constantly at every opportunity. It's exactly the way Martha in the show would go at him and say the same horrible things.
How did you do at school?
I've got a photographic memory. I was top of the school, apart from the science.
Photographic memory didn't work in science. Funny how it just switches off.
The science person got the most marks because you can get 99%.
The one thing that she hones in on is the one thing that she didn't have the success in. It's again this negativity that she keeps going back to in her head.
And with your law degree, what grade did you get?
Not bad. I mean, all right.
What was it?
I just did an ordinary degree and then a diploma in legal practice.
But what grade did you get in your degree, though, is he's asking?
What grades did you get for it?
Degree. All right grades.
No, but we're asking specifically, because you've got a photographic memory, so we know you remember, so just tell us.
You know,
What-
I
what-
went out
what were they?
partying. I didn't do an honors degree.
No, but you did a degree, and you would have got a grade for the degree, so what was the grade?
Just bog standard grades. really.
Bog standard, she says. What letter would you put on that? Was that A, B, C, first, second, third? What we're doing here?
You say you got a photographic memory, but
Yeah.
what grades did you get?
All right grades. I mean, not top of the year.
Well, what grade was it? Imagine you come home, you get your degree, and your sort of mother and father are there. What did you get then? All right. Don't worry about it. I got a degree. That's all you need to know. Just leave it, yeah?
You take a lie detector test?
Yeah. Possibly.
Oh, that was the best question yet. That was the most obvious tell from her. I am a fucking liar. Now, don't get me wrong. I still want Richard Gere to release everything, because she's still calling him a liar. But look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly. We've gone from yeah to possibly. Well, which is it? Because if I'm confident I'm telling the truth, it's a flat yes, innit? Do it now. Get it out now. I'll do it in front of everyone right now. I want to prove my innocence. Possibly. That's not that, is it? What that means is I'm possibly guilty. And the fact that she's saying possibly, and there's a whole show made about this, you're guilty.
Need to consult other lawyers about
If we
that.
said-
Oh, well, I'd have to consult my lawyers about that. I thought you were a lawyer, bitch. Sorry. Getting quite passionate. I love this show.
You would do it.
A lie detector test for what?
What about everything you've been accused of that you're claiming you're innocent about? That's what. Honestly, if I'd been in his position right now, I'd have put it on her. Tell you. Not in that kind of way, just to be clear. She might like it. All right, Martha, fancy a cuppa? I would have loved Piers to just have them wheel one out and just hook her right up to it. She would have been off that fucking couch quicker than she's managed in the last 40 fucking years. She would have backflipped off that couch.
I think he wanted to make money. I think he picked on somebody. There was a backstory there with that stalker article out there, right? So stalking's in vogue.
It's all the rage. The kids are loving it. It's the new thing. You got a stalker? Of course I have. You're not even considered desirable anymore unless you have an internet stalker. We all know that. Right, we're going to wrap that up there. Look, I'm going to keep following this because I think Piers Morgan might have just stirred up the fucking hornet's nest right inside her head, and she might just go out and kill a whole bunch of people now. We don't know what's going to happen, but goddamn, it's exciting. If you do see her, just stay clear. Let me know what you made of Piers Morgan's interview. Was it ethical? Did you enjoy it? What bits did you think were really, the bits where you felt like you got the most out of it in terms of is she telling the truth or not? Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button, stay subscribed too. The True Geordie YouTube channel, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. And if you lot are wondering how I do my research for these type of videos, I use the best website to give you different viewpoints on all the latest news, and that's Ground News. You see, what they do is they collate the relevant stories into one place and provide key key info on who the publishers are. And based on 3 independent news monitoring organisations, they tell us the political bias of them and how factual their reporting is. And as you can see, this is the homepage here, and for each headline we've got, you can see beneath the political bias of each article. I'm just going to search Baby Reindeer. Click on this article here, the shocking true story behind Netflix's Baby Reindeer. And as you can see, for this specific article, there's a couple of articles there, and the political bias is left-leaning, 100% in fact. Now, the reason this is so important is because we know in modern media, a lot of news stories are put there to make us think a certain way. And if you can see where these people are coming from in terms of their political bias, it's going to give you all the information as to know why you are being told certain information. With this stuff, Baby Reindeer, it's not that important, but when it comes to medical news, political news, that's when it's going to be very important, and then you're going to really be fully informed. So usually you'll see the majority of articles might be leaning all the way left or all the way right, with a small percentage coming from the other side. That's what we call a blind spot. And Ground News actually has an entire page dedicated to blind spot stories that are only being covered by one side of the political spectrum. And most of us get our news from our own little bubble, from the same sources time and time again, and you're not really getting the full story. A lot of the time it's Twitter, in fact, these days. With Ground News, you can make sure you get all sides of the story to make sure that your opinion is going to be well balanced with all of the facts. And a big thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video. And don't forget, you can click the link in the description below and make sure that you get your news from the best place on the internet. And when you do use my link, you can get 40% off the Vantage subscription package, or you can try it out for $1 a month, which is less than the cost of a coffee. And in my opinion, it's worth paying that little bit extra to make sure that you're fully informed with the best quality news.